So apparently, your YouTube videos aren't supposed to look like this. Instead, they're supposed to look like this. Hey guys, I'm RNG Gamer. I play all my games randomly, and I don't know anything about filming a video. But I do know a lot about video games. I have impeccable taste, fantastic taste. I'm renowned for my taste on video games. So let me tell you about some of the games I picked up recently, including some I got for my birthday. Don't worry, they're all bangers. Every one of these games is great. Plus, there's some holy grails in here that I never thought I would ever own. But first, since it was my birthday, Strictly Limited Games sent me a game to give away to you guys. It's Ray's Chronology on the PS4. And if you want to know how this can be yours, well, you're just gonna have to stick around for the rest of the video. Along with that game, Strictly Limited sent me another game for free. Thank you for sending this to me, Strictly Limited. I have not played it yet. I'm sorry. I'll get to it, man. Everything's picked randomly. They know that. They know what they got into when they sent me this stuff. This is like the latest game that everybody's talking about. I've seen so many videos about it, I was gonna buy it anyway. It's Iron Meat. For a game with such a flippin' terrible name, it actually looks really good. Apparently, this is like a run and gun shooter similar to Contra. It harkens back to those 1990s days with gritty graphics and gritty, trebly, mid-rangey, bad Sega Genesis sound. It's one of those kind of games, but I hear it plays extremely well and that it's a ton of fun. Tons of people have covered it. Metal Jesus has covered it. I think Metal Jesus covered it. Did he cover it? He covered it. I remember. I watched the video while I was at work, while I was supposed to be working. I was watching Metal Jesus review a game called Iron Meat. So thank you, Strictly Limited Games, for sending it over to me. And thank you for sending the gift that I'm going to give away later in the video. So I just had my birthday. It was spectacular. It was wonderful. As always, my wife bought me a bunch of video games. I give her a list of the stuff I want, and then she forbids me from buying anything for like 2 months so I don't accidentally buy something she already bought. Well, this game just happened to come out right around my birthday, and it's the most anticipated game on my list in years. I could not wait to play this game. It's from a series that I love. No games in it have ever scored less than a 10 in my book. So it was painful having to wait for it. And it's, of course, Astrobot. If you haven't played any of the Astrobot games, boy, you're missing out. If you own a PS5, the pack-in game, or the game that's preloaded on the hard drive, is Astrobot's Rescue Mission. Is it Rescue Mission? That's not right. Rescue Mission is the VR one on the PS4. The one on the PS5 is called Astro's Playroom. That's it. These games are amazing. They rival like the 3D Mario games. At times, I think they're even a little bit better. I'm like kind of ashamed to admit that, but they're so good. They play perfectly for a 3D platformer. They're full of tons of nostalgia and throwback to Sony games. They love to add in like these quintessential characters and scenes from other games like The Last of Us or Ratchet and Clank or God of War. They are so detailed. Now, I haven't played this, of course. It's still sealed. I just got it. But let me tell you about things I've noticed in the other Astrobot games. The little details that I think elevate it above a lot of other games. Actually, just let me tell you one. In Astro's Playroom, in one of the first levels you go to, just walk through the grass and look at the individual blades of grass. They are flippin' ribbon cables. The same ribbon cables that are inside your PS5. There's so much detail that each individual blade of grass has a texture on it, referencing a freaking PlayStation product. I know it's just designed as a corporate tie-in to all the great Sony things out there. I get it, man. I get that it's a tech demo for how good the PlayStation 5 controller is. But I don't care. It's a 10 out of 10 game. And I think Astrobot will probably also be a 10 out of 10 game. I can't wait to play it. These movies had a questionable impression on me when I was a child. I should not have watched them. But I definitely watched them like 500 times. ultra violent, ultra silly, ultra dumb. And I love everything about it. And I would not have bought this game because the developer of it does not have a good track record of making good games, but apparently they knocked it out of the park on this one. It's RoboCop Rogue City. You just run around and apparently blast the ever-loving crap out of this. You get to be real RoboCop. Remember when RoboCop shocked that dude in the dick? I saw a t-shirt once that said that. It's like the best t-shirt I've ever seen. Well, he did. It was a very memorable scene of that movie. It was like the most memorable scene of the movie. And apparently this game is like the personification of that scene in that movie. I can't wait to try this out. I hear it's not even that hard. You just like basically just unload 5,000 rounds into every enemy you see, and that sounds perfect. That sounds exactly what I want a RoboCop game to be. That's it. They nailed it. They nailed what it's like to be RoboCop. RoboCop? They nailed what it's like to be RoboCop. It's part 2 of the freaking sequel to yeah. It's Final Fantasy VII. What is this one? Rebirth. It's the second one. I haven't played the first one yet, but I know that Jen from Retro Rivals has put in like 200 hours or something into this game. She loves it. It means everything to her. It's everything in her life. It says, defy destiny together. We'll do that. Me and you. What does that even mean? We know that Aerith gets killed. Does that happen in this one, or is that later? Is that in like part 3 or 4 or 5 or 6? What if they never even come out with like any more of them? I hear this didn't sell as well as they thought. It only sold like 7 million copies or something, and they were like expecting it to sell 40 million. Whatever the case, dude. It's supposed to be, what do the kids say now? They say the same crap they said when I was a kid. It's dope. Dope is not cool. Stay off drugs. Instead, defy destiny together. You and me. We're gonna do it. But it's supposed to be good, right? I mean, everybody knows what it is. You don't need to come to me to know about Final Fantasy. Chances are, if you like this game, you've already played it. Here's one done by Vanillaware. If you don't know who Vanillaware is, well, they do some of the most fantastic video game art I've ever seen. They did Princess Crown. They did Dragon's Crown. They did Odin Sphere. They did 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. And they did this game, Unicorn Overlord. Now, I don't know what it's like to be ruled by a unicorn. I'm skeptical that it would go very well. I know they're magical beings and all, and they poop rainbows and they skewer people left and right with their horn. But I just don't think a unicorn has it within itself to like govern an entire nation. But we'll find out, man. Apparently it says liberate your kingdom. From the unicorn, reclaim your destiny. What is this game about? Yeah, it's a tactical or strategy RPG. There's like 60 characters in it. You traverse an expansive world. You battle players across the world in an online arena. I'm not gonna play online at all. I'm gonna play all by myself down here, and there's nothing they can do about it. Atlas, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to push an online agenda. Not you, Atlas. You need to not do that. You're like the single player masters. Stick with that. Let me tell you a story about a freaking liar. One of the first of these limited run game style companies that put out like a limited edition product that can only be sold in a small window on their website was Special Reserve Games. Now I like Special Reserve Games. They're not really around anymore. They're like owned by Devolver Media or something now. Okay, fine, whatever. They put out this game and they swore that it would only ever exist physically, not digitally. This is a physical only game. Buy it now in the special edition, and boy, did I freaking do that. It's Demon Throttle. So it's sitting right here, sealed. I haven't opened it yet. Well, I don't know if this game ever came out digitally or not, but I'll tell you what they did do. Put it on this compilation, the freaking Doinksoft collection. There it is, right there. This also has Gato Roboto and Gun Barilla. Fantastic name. Anyway, Demon Throttle is a vertical on the ground shoot 'em up. Like King's Knight, it sucks. It's the game that almost put Square out of business, and they had enough money to make one more game, and they called it the final game, the Final Fantasy, and it turns out that Final Fantasy freaking blew up and they made like $5 trillion, right? Anyway, King's Knight, which came before Final Fantasy, was such a flop, it's such a terrible game, it almost bankrupted Square. Anyway, they decided to do a spiritual successor to that, and it's freaking Demon Throttle. and Gato Roboto is a 1-bit cozy Metroidvania, and Gumbarella, I don't know what the hell it is. Let's read what it says together. Gumbarella is a gritty noir punk action adventure set in a world dependent on a rapidly diminishing natural resource. That doesn't tell me anything. Hey, it's Snatcher on the Sega CD. This is like a $1,300 game or something like that. I passed on it at $800. And then I was at Retro Rick's convention like a week ago, and he put it up on the auction block at $1,300. No takers, and they dropped it down to 100, and it got bid up to like 700 bucks, and that's what it ended up going for. Fortunately for me, I did not bid on it because I had already bought it. And guess what? I bought it from Project Retro Games. This is a 100% authentic bootleg of Snatcher, but that is a pressed CD. That is a real pressed, hot off the presses CD. It's the real thing, man. At least as far as your Sega CD is concerned. Now, I have not played Snatcher, so I didn't want to spend like $1,000 on this. But this is Hideo Kojima's, one of his earliest games. It is a crime noir thriller with kind of like an anime aesthetic. You can use the light gun at certain times. The Justifier is what it's called. I want the real experience of like putting it in the machine, you know, using a light gun. That's the reason I didn't emulate it, to tell you the truth, because you can't really emulate well with a light gun. I wanted to use the freaking Justifier, dude, and play it on a CRT. So there we go. That's why I got this. That copy of Snatcher looks very clearly like a bootleg. It just does. The print quality is not as high as you would expect. It's a little blurry and grainy. Now, I got this along with it. Same thing from Project Retro Games. This is Kyo Flying Squadron. Ultra mega heavy hitter holy grail game. The quality of this is much higher. This is like, I mean, if you look closely, you can see that it is a bootleg, but it is easily twice as clean as Snatcher. This is a shoot 'em up, classic shoot 'em up on the system, probably the best shoot 'em up on the Sega CD. This game goes for like a couple $1,000, maybe more. I've seen a sealed one somewhere that was like $5,000 or something crazy. Anyway, it's a cute 'em up. You play as a little girl in a bunny costume, and she rides on a dragon that has the eyes of like Gollum from that old animated Hobbit movie. I've played this game. It's really good. It's a fantastic game. I don't know if it's worth all that money, but this was only like 50 something bucks. And I threw it in with the other one because I was gonna have to pay like more shipping or something. I can't remember what it was when I ordered them. Thanks Project Retro Games for being willing to sell me something. I know I'm not as cool as Radical Reggie, but my money is just as good as his. Hey, guess what? It's time to give away a game. I put it in the middle of the video and not at the end. Ray's Chronology. Now, what is Ray's Chronology? Ray's Chronology is Layer Section. That's it, Layer Section. Layer Section and Galactic Attack are the same freaking game. And the sequel is Ray Storm, and the sequel to that is Ray Crisis. Anyway, they're all on here. And you can win this yourself. All you have to do is like this video and leave a comment down below with the funniest statement you can come up with about this video. And whichever statement has the most likes, at the end of the week, I'll reply to your message, tell you how to get in touch with me, and I will send you this game. And if you've already left a message, go vote for the ones you like. Friggin' look at this game. Look at this. Do you know what this is? You can't read it. Can I remember what it is? Majuo, King of Demons. This is one of the rarest, by far, Super Nintendo games. Not Super Nintendo, Super Famicom games. It was put out by Retrobit and distributed by Limited Run Games. And this is a gorgeous and extremely heavy release of this. I don't know anything about this game. I think it's a side scroller. I bought this solely based on the fact of how just unbelievably rare it is. I saw it pop up on Limited Run Games for sale and was like, I remember that from some video I watched 10 years ago about like the rarest games you've never heard of or something like that. And this game was like one of the top ones, along with Rendering Ranger, which Limited Run Games also put out. I wish this game was more well known. I'm gonna put this on my like display shelf, but nobody's gonna know what the freaking crap it is. But this is a gorgeous copy. I mean, it has like gold embossed lettering on it, and it's, I mean, I don't want to crack it open, but it is just beautiful. Retrobit's killing it with these things, man. I can't get enough of them. Keep putting them out. I think this game's like $1,500 for a loose cart or something like that normally, so happy to have it. I was live streaming not that long ago, and a viewer jumped into the chat and asked me if I had played this game or if I'd picked it up, and I said no, and he tipped me $30 to buy it. It's Last Faith. And thank you, Anti-Ristiu, for tipping the money to buy this. I really wanted to get it. It was on my wish list, so I'm looking forward to it. It is a mixture of a Dark Souls game, or a Souls-like. I don't really like that term, but Souls-like and a Metroidvania. Now, Souls games are already kind of like Metroidvanias in a way, but I'm hoping it's more item-based, like you get new items and abilities that allow you to access areas other than just like kind of leveling up that allows you to access other areas. Although there are a few items in Souls games that do allow you to get into new areas, but it's usually actions like ringing a bell or something like that. So I hope this is more item-based, like a for realsies Metroidvania, but it looks really cool. Thank you, Anti-Ristiu, once again for tipping the money to help me pick it up. I really appreciate you guys. You guys really overwhelm me with your kindness every day. And I listen to you guys. I did a video not that long ago about PS5 games that are kind of hard to find. And like 5 or 6 people mentioned this game and I went and got it. It Still Wakes the Deep. Now, what is this freaking game? I don't know. I intentionally went into this blind when I bought it, just based on your recommendation. I just trust you guys so much. You obviously have great taste in video games because you come to me for your game knowledge and to find out what maybe you should buy. I constantly have people tell me like, I had no idea about that game and you always make me spend so much money. Well, you guys make me spend money too. I don't know. Let's read what the back says. 1975, period. And I'm not even joking. The first sentence says 1975. That's an incomplete sentence. Disaster strikes the Beera D oil rig off the coast of Scotland. Ooh, that's interesting. All lines of communication have been severed. All exits are gone. All that remains is to face the unknowable horror that's come aboard and pray that one day you get to see your family again. Man, trapped on an oil rig, huh, with some sort of evil horror. Every horror game that takes place on a boat that I've played is like them hallucinating the whole time. I would love for it to be like a cosmic horror kind of thing. Like they drilled too deep and they found like a Cthulhu monster down there that wants to come up and take over their computers and start Bitcoin mining. Everybody picked this up. It got super expensive. It got up to like $200 freaking dollars. And then they reprinted it and the price bombed or whatever. I grabbed it. It's the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. That's Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on it. I already own all these games on various consoles. Okay, why did I grab this? Well, it's because I'm lazy. I heard that a lot of these games, they changed to get rid of the grindiness of them. Now, I played Final Fantasy 2, and it had like an insane amount of grinding. Like, you had to grind, like 80% of the game was just grinding, and apparently these have like streamlined the gameplay. And I noticed that Final Fantasy 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 were all in my backlog. I've never played 3, 4, 5, or 6. I've never played any of them. And Final Fantasy 1 I never beat. I watched my friends beat it when I grew up, so I wanted to go back and play them. So I was like, since they're all basically in my freaking backlog anyway, I'll just get this because it's like the definitive way, or not the definitive, like the easier way to play them, and that'll give me a better shot of actually finishing them. Now, I know I'll probably love 5 and 6, but I've heard that 2, 3, and 4 are kind of like good, but kind of like dated, that this helps with that. What the hell is even the name of this game? I haven't looked at this really in depth. This is insane. There is so much going on in this. Like there's like 200 characters on the cover of this. Can we make that brighter? There we go, look at that. My good Lord. What is the name of this? Put it on the screen. It's a compilation of a bunch of like mini games like dodgeball and stack them up, whatever. This has English on it, okay? This is not like all in Japanese. There's not a surface of this game that is not covered in Japanese. It's just overwhelming. But it has English on the disc, or on the cart. On the disc. I also see there's like 7 volleyballs in this front picture and a penguin taking a dump. No, that's just like some rice on a plate. God, this picture is insane. I had to add something else to my Play Asia order to get free shipping. They only free ship if it's over $100. So sometimes you just like wait, and you're like, I'll wait till there's like 6 or 7 games, and I'll order them all at once, and then I'll get free shipping. And the other times you're like, that game's gonna sell out in 2 seconds, so I gotta like buy it, because the only place I'm gonna find it is on freaking Play Asia, especially if it's like a shoot 'em up or something, and then you're like, I'll add several other games to that, so I get free shipping, and you know, like stuff like this. But anyway, it's supposed to be pretty good. I didn't mean to say, I wasn't trying to say that like I bought it, just, I spent $35 on a game so I could save $4 on shipping. Did I do that? Is that exactly what happened? That may be exactly what happened. Someone told me that this game is like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! If Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Was set in a Victorian England Jane Austen style setting. It's the Rose and Camellia collection. And this has Rose and Camellia 1, 2, 3, 4, and Rose and Camellia versus La Mulana. Okay, 5 games. You just slap women for insulting your honor. Like, that's what it is. But you play as a woman, right? I don't think you're a guy. You're not Mr. Darcy, like slapping all the women. No, this game looks really fun. It looks like a great game. I don't know if I want to like split all 5 of these into 5 different entries in my backlog, or if I just want to like knock out the whole freaking series at once. I don't know how long the games are. But let's read what it says. Slap your way to the top of high society. Grace and glamour give way to open-handed dueling across 5 games of aristocratic absurdity. You'll slap, dodge, feint, and counter your way through a series of one-on-one slap fights using Joy-Con motion controls or touch screen swipes. This game is like the most on the fence game ever. I've been playing a bunch of supermassive games recently. They're freaking, I say a bunch, not a bunch, one, I played one. I played like one every year for the last 3 years, okay? The freaking Dark Pictures anthology games. They're like these choose your own adventure story games. I like those kind of games. I can't remember the name of it, dude. What's the, Life is Strange, dude. Life is Strange. It is, but the game also choose your own adventure. Anyway, this game also choose your own adventure as Dusk Falls. This is put out by Serenity Forge. Apparently, IGN gave it like a 9 out of 10 and said a masterwork of branching storytelling. But it's a different story over on Metacritic, where it's got like a rockin' solid hard like 7 out of 10. People are like, it's not that good, it's not that in depth. Apparently you play the story like over and over and over again to cover different paths. It's a choose your own adventure game, man. What else are you expecting? You know, drive the lives and relationships of multiple characters in a story told across 2 intense books. What? Books? Oh, I have to read. Experience cooperative gameplay with up to 8 players at once. No, solo. We're making all the decisions. These people's lives are in our hand. No, not ours, mine. My hand. My hands. My hand? Hands? Just one hand. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Let me know what you think about the new setup. Also, the names you see on the screen and the messages you saw before, well, those are my channel members and Patreons. For as little as 99 cents, you get early access to the videos. You get access to member-exclusive videos. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do in the different tiers. I appreciate you guys so much. I couldn't do it without you. And I'll catch you guys next week.